My name is Swaraj and welcome to R Code Bits. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a simple function in R. So, a function which squares. You can turn this statement into a comment using the shortcuts Ctrl plus Shift plus C, C as in Charlie. Let us create a variable a and which stores a value 2. To square this number, we just write a square and we get the value as 4. Now, if we want to create a function which does the same thing, we can do that. So let us create a function called squares. Now, this function will have only one argument that would be given by the user. We run the function and then we run squares with the value, let's say 2. The square should be 4, and yes it is. So it is working pretty well. We check it for 5, that is 25, for 19, 361. Let's see if we can create another function which can cube a number. We'll copy this and paste it again, and we'll do our editing to the code itself. So we create a function cubes. We just change the value a square to a cube. Now it should give you the cube of, let's say 2 as 8. We run the function and yes, it gives it as 8. Now we run for 5, that is 125. For 19, it's 6859. Now let us create a function which will give you both squares and cubes. And just for fun, let's call it cubes. Now, in this case, we would create two extra variables, x and y. And both of them would have the values of a square and a cube. Now inside the function, we would create a vector, but we would not store it, we'll just print it, which will print the value of x and y. Let's run the function's cubes. Let's run it for the value 2, and let's see the output. It should be 4 and 8, and it is. For 5, it should be 25 and 125. For 19, 361 and 6859. Now let's see if we remove x and y and directly use a square and a cube. Would it work? Well, it would. So let's run the function. Let's run it for number 4, and it gives you 16 and 64, so it works pretty well. Now just to make it clearer for the user, let us add two character strings inside the function which tells them whether the number is a square or a cube. So we run the function again, and let's see, it shows you square is 16 and cube 64. Let's see if we can create a function which has two arguments instead of one. So we take the same function, we add an extra argument b, and in this case inside the function we just change the cube from a cube to b cube. So let's run the function. Let's run it for the number 2. Oh, it throws an error because the function wants two arguments and we give just one. So when we give two arguments, it gives the values. So for 2 and 3, 4 and 27. But now, if we want to make it much more readable for the function, for the user, we can add further strings such as square of a is a square and cube of b is b square. Now the reader or the user would be able to read it much more properly. Let's run the function. It throws an error. Oh, I missed a comma over there. Now these errors, they bug you, but they help you learn easier and faster. So it does work pretty well. Square of 2 is 4 and cube of 3 is 27. So let's try it for other numbers and see if it's working properly. 5 and 19. It is giving us 25 and 6859, which is perfect. So our functions are working pretty well. Thank you. And you know how to change this statement into a comment. Ctrl plus Shift plus C. Just as another hint, just go to the console, just click on Ctrl plus L. Voila. You have a clean console now. Thank you.